Anyway, hey guys, it's Sydney.
And Andy. Hey,
We
baby.
are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Hey, so good to see you. I just saw you last night for dinner, but
I know.
it's always good to see you. And we get
Of
to see each
course.
other Sunday.
Yep.
Just lots of good things this
At
week.
least you were off last Sunday.
Oh yeah, on Monday.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Sunday. You didn't go to the tailgate. You didn't.
Oh yeah, I had
Yeah.
to send the tailgate out. In case you guys haven't heard, I am participating in Dry January. So, and I just needed to recover from my 2 weeks off of work and holiday fun. So,
Yeah.
my way to recover. So, I did sit last week out. We all did. Well, except for dad, of course. Tell me about it. What did I miss? I had severe FOMO, but
So you shouldn't have had FOMO. It was a very, very relaxed,
what
low
is FOMO, Dad?
fear of missing out.
Good
Yeah.
job.
I remember that from what was that? That TV show you used to watch with Jay.
Oh, Modern Family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wasn't
that's
that
a great show.
wasn't that something Phil would say?
Probably.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What about, do you know what BNO means?
BNO?
Yeah.
No.
Big night out.
Big night out. Oh
Big
no,
night.
we never had BNO. I mean, if we just had a good night out, that would be it.
You just didn't call it a BNO.
Yeah, we didn't
Okay,
call it a
anyway,
BNO.
back to the real stuff. So tail.
So the tailgate was nice, it was relaxed, there was more camper time, more time inside than outside because it was chilly, But there was the usual were there. The guys that normally skip, Chris, Lynn, Jeff, they found that a perfect reason not to go as soon as Saquon wasn't playing. And I don't blame them. I mean, it was really, like I said, the tailgate, we got there early. We ate, we did our normal stuff and went into the game. Very lackluster, boring type. And since my back was hurting, I left at the
uh,
end of the first quarter.
you're back.
Oh,
You
whatever. It'll be all right.
gotta get you hooked up. Oh, I got a massage gun for Christmas. You want to borrow it?
No,
I have one.
yeah, I'm okay. I don't use it.
Maybe you should.
Eh,
All right, we'll talk about this later.
all right.
Anyway, so
So the
what-
game,
we don't
like
need
I
to get
said,
into the game too much. It was not that exciting.
well, it's really hard to judge when you're playing your second string. They're playing to not get hurt and get to the off season. It was really a very lackluster, not a very exciting game. So, you know,
But there are
but
some things.
Tanner McKee looked
Yes,
pretty good.
we need to talk
And
about that.
he throws a nice ball and it's a lot the offense is a lot different with him at quarterback than with Pickett or with Jalen. But of course you could say that. And of course, he was playing a team that had already hung up and were on their way home. You know what I mean? So
You
he
did it.
should have looked good.
Yeah,
Excuse me?
you did a nice job.
Yeah, he didn't. I mean,
NFL start. His family, did you see he picked his family up from the airport?
no, I did not see that.
That's sweet.
Yeah, well,
His parents could be there.
yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
He had a good day. I mean, like I said, they won. They got to what is it, 14 wins, which is that's quite an accomplishment. I mean, Nick is one of is the only coach in Eagles history with two 13 win seasons.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, that's crazy because
Yeah.
they
Say
they
what
did
you
have
will
some
about the family.
they did have some good coaches in their history, you
Yeah.
know.
Um,
So
so what's going on with Jalen and this concussion?
well, he practiced today. He was a participant in practice. I mean, I know everyone was making a big deal out of, and it
Yeah.
is a big deal. You get concussion, it's dangerous. It's you don't want to see that, but I'm not worried about Rust. He
So is
played.
playing on Sunday?
I think he practiced today. He probably has to clear a couple more hurdles that are normal. And I'm assuming he's going to play Sunday and everything's going to be fine with
That would be my
him and the
pick.
offense.
But let's play worst case scenario. He's out. Who would you rather play? Kenny Pickett or Tanner McKee?
Kenny Pickett.
Really?
Yeah.
I would say Tanner.
Well, what did you
I think
say?
Kenny. I
What
don't
did
have
you
a problem with Kenny.
again? But this is what I'm saying. You just said this 3 minutes ago. His
First,
first start. Kenny Pickett has started almost 30 games in the NFL.
yeah, that's fair enough.
And
But
that's the reason. I mean, listen, I told you this before. Neither one of them guys are Nick Foles. So you can you can you can hope and pray that they can win with them guys under center. But against a quality playoff team, that's going to be a tough road to hoe.
all
Your
right.
defense would really have to be. So, you know, I'm not looking at the scenario where Jalen's not playing.
Worst case scenario. It's
No
like
worst
a
case
little
scenario.
game to play.
You just said all positive vibes. Now you're giving me worst case scenario. That's that's the complete opposite of positive vibes.
No, that is realistic. We've been saying it all season. You need to plan ahead for these types of things.
And
So
I told
not
you,
have this
I
conversation.
told you. So
Are we fighting?
no, we're not fighting, but I'm just saying that you can't. I just don't think that they can win with either of them guys under center in the playoffs.
Let's hope we don't need to find out.
Like Nick had a really good resume leading up to that playoff entrance the year in 2017.
Mhm.
He had that year where he threw 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. They had a good team. He had a playoff start under his belt. He went and started for a couple other teams. Had a rough road there. Came back to Philly. Carson got hurt. We know the story. He put together 2.5 great games of playoff football. I
Mhm.
don't think you could depend on Pickett or McKee to do that. I mean, I would hope and pray, but that would be asking a lot.
All right. Well, it's not going to happen.
We
So,
can put it on Jalen because I told you I feel comfortable with Jalen. With
yeah,
Jalen, I told you
of
I feel completely comfortable with that game.
course.
I watched the season opener in Brazil yesterday. It was on the NFL Network. I watched it.
Oh my God.
Um, you said we were going to talk about number 26.
I was going to urge you to move on to that. We need to talk about it.
So the summit in that game was they could have ran him a little more. And I told you, you know, being upset that they didn't put him out there in week 17. Yeah, they could have, would have, should have, could have, but you know,
The right
they
thing to
would
do.
have, should have, could have ran him more in those first 4 games.
Absolutely.
There's a game, I forget what game it was. He gained 47 yards.
Well,
Another game, he gained 67 yards against Dallas. The
and then
first game,
there's only
67
one man
yards.
to blame.
So, like I said, we talked about this in earlier podcasts about when I went to the vet and the sign guy had to sign, run the ball, and we were talking about that 40 years later. We still want them to run the ball. They didn't do it in those first 4 games. And that's where that record went, those first 4 games. And
Yeah.
that is all Kellen Moore's fault.
Yeah. Well,
It's all water under the bridge now. There's nothing you can
yeah.
do about it.
No, nothing you can do.
They're rested. They rested the guys they needed to rest. And I feel confident with
Yeah.
Jalen that
I
they're
think
going to be
looking
okay.
ahead, it's obviously the right thing to do.
Yes. Like I
But
said, they had opportunities earlier in the
yeah,
season. They
looking back,
couldn't
there was room for improvement for
they
sure.
couldn't get it done against Pittsburgh, right? They didn't run the ball well against Pittsburgh. They didn't run the ball against Dallas. They didn't run the ball against, I think it was the Browns. They didn't run the ball against Atlanta. So in them 4 games, they would have ran the ball a little bit more. That record would have been done and easy. Even if he would have been at least 70, 80 yards closer where they would have finished it in week 16.
Hmm.
So I don't, I mean, I feel bad that he didn't get the record, but, you know, me and you don't go down there for individual records.
No, I think it's fine.
So that's what I say.
All right. Anything else from Sunday that you want to talk about? I feel like
The
that's
Eagles game?
yeah,
No, not really. I mean, like everyone got out healthy. They're pretty healthy going into
they
the
are.
playoffs. They got Dallas Goddard back. They're pretty healthy. So that's a real positive.
Well,
That's a real positive. Health is a positive, and that rest for Lane Johnson and those offensive linemen and those defensive
oh,
linemen,
they needed that.
they needed it. They've been going since week 6.
Yeah.
So I think it's you know let's get into the playoffs, man. And there was a lot of good games this weekend like that. That we should touch on.
We can do that. Before we say anything else, I do want to say that Cooper DeJean did ring the bell at the Sixers game 2 nights ago.
I know, I know. They lost that game.
Shocker. Well,
Yeah,
I
my
wish
boy
knows
didn't play. Joel didn't play.
another shocking
Yeah,
piece of news today.
yeah. It's a shame. Every time they start to move up, something happens, and here we are. But
Oh,
yeah, he rang the bell. He's getting his accolades, you
just
know.
should know.
And
Anyway,
you would ask me who on the Eagles would get Rookie of the Year?
you would give it to him?
No.
Oh. Why are you asking me this?
I was well because you asked me, and I just didn't
Did
know.
I?
Yeah, not
Huh.
today.
All right. Well, who would you say?
I still go with Quinion.
Is this like a real thing? Are they going to do this or?
I don't think so. They don't do anything, but
Obviously say Cooper, but it's no news there.
yeah.
Okay, anyway, speaking of MVP, I did want to ask you this. You had to pick, would you pick Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen?
I think I would pick Josh Allen because and nothing against Lamar. Like Lamar is an amazing player. You see the highlights, you see everything. But one thing Josh Allen doesn't have is Derrick Henry. Like
Yeah,
Josh Allen is almost a one man show. He's got some good wide receivers. The running game's okay, but that guy had a really good year. And I think, he deserves it. Lamar's got to, and not that because he has to means he should lose it. I just think that Josh had a better year and he deserves it.
just for the sake of disagreeing, I'm gonna say I think it should go to Lamar Jackson.
Why do you just want to disagree?
I don't know.
Like,
I think it like gives a little bit of like fun flavor.
no, you can't say just to disagree. You just have to say, I think it's Lamar because
Okay,
to
well, let's pretend I never said that. I think it's Lamar. No, I
why?
actually do think it's Lamar. I think he's the better player, and I think he's so funny. I know it's not about being funny, but you get extra points in my book.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean,
And
look, they're both they're both more than deserving of that
they
award.
are. I mean,
I
obviously.
mean, both of them are deserving of the award. There's probably like, that kid in Detroit doesn't get enough respect. I mean, he had a great year.
It's hard when everyone's good.
Well, he's having a great year on a historically bad franchise,
Yeah.
right? And again, we were wrong. Like me, the guys I tailgate with, most of the fans in Philadelphia, when the draft came out between Carson and the kid in Detroit, we all thought Carson was the better player. And as you can see right now, it's not. This kid This
Yeah.
kid's going to have a better career. So, but yeah, you could give it to,
It's
you
not
could
a
probably
lot.
find 4 or 5 guys you could give it to
Yeah.
that rightfully deserve it. Like they talk about Joe Burrow deserving it. I don't see that because
He,
the team didn't have the wins that
okay, but he really made them
he
have
had a great year.
something.
He had a great year, but
Without him, they
it
would,
also goes by wins.
yeah. All right. Anyway, so I think last piece of negative news is our man Doug getting the boot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he had a tough year.
He had a tough year. I mean,
A
everyone
lot of
thinks
injuries. Listen, you can't live in the past, right? Like that Super Bowl that he won for us was 8 years ago.
that. Have you met me? You can live in the past.
Well, you can, but it's not a lot of fun.
Never
Yeah.
forget. You can
You
never.
can, yeah, but you can't. You have to keep producing, like the
Well,
NFL.
yes. Forget.
And
Don't forget, but move on.
well, that's what they did. They said, "Listen, man, you want a Super Bowl? Not with us, but whatever you're doing
Yeah.
is not working here, and we're going to try something else." That guy spends a lot of money, the owner of that team, so he has every right to do whatever.
So what do you think's gonna happen to him? I'm worried about him.
Who, Doug? Don't
Yeah.
worry about Doug. I think he's going to be okay. Don't worry about Doug. Doug will have plenty of ice cream. He's going to be fine.
It's not about the ice cream.
If
Don't
he if he
yeah.
wants, I don't know if he's going to get another head coaching job
Oh,
this year. I mean, I could be wrong.
maybe he
There
should
could
take vacation.
there could be a team, but I think maybe Doug, and he's probably too.
Could he do like offensive coordinator?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Maybe we should
Like
find
once
Ellen
you're a
Moore.
Super Bowl winning head coach, I would think it's probably hard to go work for somebody as a coordinator. Now, if he was 10, 12 years older, I could say, yeah, I could see him doing that, but he's still young enough to be a head coach. He still relates to the players. He's still, but I don't know that it's going to happen for him. And I just don't know that, like, if I was a young head coach, I would be a little leery to hire Doug with that resume standing behind me at that age. Like I said, if he was Vic Fangio's age, yeah, I'd jump all over that. But I don't know. Yeah.
All right. Well,
So
Doug,
I think he's probably got a couple years left on that contract, and he's going to get paid, and he'll probably be an analyst somewhere, and he's going to get paid, and he'll be he'll be okay.
okay. That gives me peace of mind.
Yeah, you could sleep tonight. I'll go sleep
I
fine.
can. I took my sleeping
Yeah.
medicine already.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah. Are we almost done? I gotta get to, just kidding. Let's talk about the let's just talk overall playoffs games happening, and then we'll save us for last. So, Chiefs and Lions are obviously on a bye week. The Lions played the Vikings this past week,
Yeah,
and
held that offense to 3 field goals.
yeah, it was
Made
crazy.
Sam Darnold look really bad.
They did, and I don't know what to think because I've been saying I've been more worried about the Vikings, but now I'm like, hmm.
Well, I was saying that too, right? Like I was worried that the Vikings were going to beat Detroit. We were going to have to go to Minnesota. But I watched that Detroit game on Monday when I got home, and not not good.
You like watch it like you're watching tape, like
Well, I just watched the game because it was on Sunday
Sunday
night.
game.
Well, that was on. I didn't put it on. The NFL Network had it on. I don't
Okay.
know how they knew I wanted to watch it, but I want to thank them for doing that.
So I don't know what to think about
So
Vikings.
what I think about the Vikings is there's this distinct possibility Detroit killed them Sunday night.
Well,
They
yeah.
go to LA and get rolled.
You think? Oh, you did
Oh,
say that. So that's the first game you want to talk about?
yeah, I think that's a distinct possibility.
All right, so
But
LA and the Vikings are playing. I think the Vikings are gonna win. You said the Rams are gonna win.
I think the Rams are going to win because I think.
You see that Rams team? We
Well,
were
I
there.
know that's the weird part. We saw that Rams team in person, and if we were going back to the week after we played the Rams, I might give the Vikings a different story.
Hmm,
But the Rams have been playing pretty well the last 5 weeks of the season,
okay.
and the way Detroit punched Minnesota, that's probably going to have a lingering effect. That's just what I think.
All right.
Again, I
We'll
hang duckwork,
oh,
so
all right. So what about Tampa Bay versus Washington?
I think Tampa Bay is going to beat the Washington.
So this isn't necessarily what I think. This is the outcome I'm hoping for. I hope Washington beats Tampa Bay just because I'm mad at Tampa Bay from last year. So I want to see them lose immediately.
Well, last year was kind of our fault, not their fault.
Well, they still beat us, so I want to squash them.
Yeah, but did they beat us or did we quit weeks before that?
Well, yeah.
Like we never really talked about
No,
last year on
we
this
did,
podcast,
and we
you
knew
know.
that was going to happen. We knew that's how that was going to. There was no
So
excitement going into the
that's why, like,
playoff last year.
I'm mad at Tampa for Rondé Barber. Okay, I'm not mad at
I
Tampa
want to
for
see them
last year.
lose. I don't care who did what. They need to go. So
So
I hope Washington wins.
I mean, here's the thing, right? I don't like the Commanders. I never liked that team,
I don't like them, but I
and I
want.
want them out. I want them out. I'm sorry. I
Well,
would. I would
it's not
love.
up to us.
I would love the opportunity, actually, to beat either of those teams, but we won't get the Commanders.
No.
So we could get Tampa Bay.
Well, I don't know. Let's not even go there. Let's move on. Broncos, Bills,
Bills.
Broncos.
I told you. Even though Uncle Anthony is a Broncos fan,
He is.
I do not like Sean Payton. I don't like anything about that guy.
But it's not about the guys. It's about
Well,
the team and what it would mean in the future.
so I'm not worried about the
You could
Broncos in
crush the
the future.
Broncos.
I'm saying that I think Buffalo is a better team right now, and I think
No,
Denver,
I uh,
Denver going to Buffalo is going to lose.
I agree. This is just like going off of my heart and what I want to happen. I just think the Broncos have worked really hard, and if they could pull off like the upset of a lifetime, I would love to see that for them. But, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I would love to see Denver lose 73-0.
Dad, that's
I'm sorry. And I like Bo Nix. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. I just don't like their coach.
okay.
Uh,
Well, won't stick it to the man.
uh,
Moving on,
what do you got next?
Ravens, Steelers.
Come on, man.
Their disagreement.
I think the Ravens are going to kill him.
I want, I like the Ravens better, but I'm saying Steelers in another upset. And it's just because the Ravens scare me a little bit. So I just think it would be best if we got them gone.
We don't have to worry about the Ravens.
I don't know. I'm just always worried about everybody else.
Look, you're not going to play Temple if you get to the Super Bowl.
No, I know that. Thanks.
So you can't worry about the Ravens. You can't worry about. You're saying you just want the Ravens going because they're good, or
Yeah, I
you think?
want I always want an upset. Unless it's us.
So you're rooting for the underdog. Okay.
Yes, of course.
Well, you can root, but I don't see it happening for that
Except
underdog.
LA, which now I'm kind of feeling guilty about. Maybe I'll switch my pick. It
Well,
would be nice
good
to
thing you
see.
don't gamble.
Wait, I'm gonna switch. I want LA to win now. Screw the Vikings. Stick it to the man.
Yeah.
No, but wouldn't in that division, like the Vikings have to. Oh, never mind.
So the
The Vikings
next
would end
round
up playing the Lions at some point again.
the next round it lays out.
Like it's too much thinking. Like there's
It
too
lays out different, right? You have to see.
much off vibes.
So if we were the 2 seed and we beat Green Bay, who's the 7 seed, then the remaining higher seed, the remaining lower seed goes to the number 1 seed, and then the next seed comes to us.
Okay.
So, even if the Commanders were to win, they would go to Detroit and we would end up with Minnesota, we'll say.
I don't like that either, which is why maybe LA should win. Okay, let's just forget this.
LA is going to beat the Vikings.
Dad, I cannot believe you're saying that with your whole heart.
I just think that after what I saw, I just think that,
Manifesting that.
huh?
You're manifesting that. You're
That's what I just think that it that really hurts a team, man. To get beat when you were that good and thinking that you had that good, you were that good. Your franchise,
I don't think we're one to talk.
the Vikings spent $2 million and bought $2 million worth of tickets off of the open market in Detroit and sold it to their season ticket holders
That's
for
rotten.
under what they paid.
Oh, where's that good?
Not rotten. That's freaking fantastic.
Oh, why'd they do that?
Well, because they wanted to get their fans into Detroit.
Oh,
So they bought the tickets and gave them to their fans just so that they could have fans there.
that's so sweet. So
Yeah.
why are they going to lose?
Why do I want them to lose? I'm not saying I want them to lose. I'm just saying they're going to lose.
I don't like this conversation. Let's move on to Texans Chargers.
What did you say? Who cares?
Who cares?
The
I'm going
Texans,
Chargers because
I don't.
I
The
don't love
Texans
Texas.
won a horrible division. I don't like. Like I said, I don't like the Texans. I don't like them. I don't. I like their coach, but
Yeah.
eh, I
All right.
think I
Now,
think the Chargers win.
most important game of the week, obviously, us in Green Bay. And obviously, it's just like we're gonna win. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, I kind of agree with you, right? I think I said like Jalen's going to play.
Jalen's
They
gonna.
have the number 1 rushing attack in the NFL. They have the best offensive line in the NFL. They have one of the top 3 receiving tandems in the NFL. They have a very good tight end. They have a good backup tight end. They have the number 1 defense. I mean, I just don't see.
Yeah. I mean, compared,
Green Bay lost the receiver this week. The quarterback's a little banged up.
I hate to say this, Colleen, cover your ears if you're listening, but Green Bay isn't good.
Well,
They're
they got
not good. I just don't, there's no like passion there, I feel like. No?
well. Green Bay they're the best. They're a good team, but they're the worst of the good teams.
Yeah.
Like they're better than the Falcons. They're better than the Saints. They're better than the Cardinals. They're better than the Bears. They're better than the Giants. They're better than the Cowboys. But when you get to those top teams,
Yeah.
they they're not ready.
I just think coming into Philly, all of those things that you just mentioned, injuries, we have minimal, we rested most of our, like, I just,
Yeah.
all stars are aligning in favor of us this week, and I'm jazzed about it.
I mean, like I said, and I say this a lot, right? I tell you, you get out of it what you put into it. So if they work their tails off this week and they focus that game, they should win.
Yeah.
It should be we should be sitting here next week talking about an upcoming game and what we need to do next week. Like I said, we need to I think they need to stop the run. They need to They need to keep their heads on straight. They need to not get pulled into them personal fouls and
Nope.
making stupid mistakes.
Yeah,
They'll be fine.
I agree.
Run the ball, do what you do best.
It's like fun not to be nervous and just like excited.
I'm a little nervous because
I'm
you
not.
never know what's going to
You
happen.
never know. I do agree, but
So I always, Sid, I always kind of think, worst case scenario. I do. It's just something I do.
I wasn't
But,
20 minutes ago.
huh?
I wasn't allowed to think worst case scenario 20 minutes ago.
Well, you're the one that said positive vibes, right?
I guess.
I mean, I'm giving you all positive stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, this is a very positive
Right?
episode.
I'm telling you all the positive things that they have done well all year that they just need to do.
Yeah.
But they need to do their homework. They need to work hard. They need to practice hard. They need to focus, not listen to us talk about how great they are. Not
Well,
me and you, but the
absolutely.
general public, man. It's
Need
like
to stay inside.
there's no reason that you should be telling that team that they're going to go to the Super Bowl, win the Super
No,
Bowl.
no, 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 no.
They have the opportunity to play next week if they do what they're
Yeah,
supposed to.
exactly. Week by week after this week, I would say.
Week by week, every week.
Well,
That's how you end up losing games like Atlanta, games like the Commanders,
yeah.
because you don't do week by week.
Okay.
You get ahead of yourself.
So what's your score prediction?
31-13.
Wow. I'm going 28-14, maybe a little bit closer, but not sure. I'm so excited to tailgate.
I think they're gonna do fine. I really do. I think they're gonna do.
Be a 10 out of 10 day. I
Yeah,
really
dress warm,
know.
because it's gonna
I
be
am
chilly down
ready.
there. Dress warm. Yeah, it's gonna be chilly. Bring a hat.
Any other pieces of advice?
Well, it's dry January, so I'm all good. I don't have to worry. You can drive. I don't have to.
No, I'm gonna get some fun sodas or energy drinks or something.
Well, whatever.
Bring some good snacks.
Yeah,
Make my contribution.
it'll be a good tailgate.
Great
It'll
day.
be a good time. I mean, every
Great
time.
tailgate. Great game. It's gonna be awesome. I'm so
Yeah,
anything for the greater good. Is that the saying?
for the greater good.
Oh, okay.
Oh, for the guys,
For the
for
anything.
the tailgate, anything with Brent.
Anything. Do you have
No, you're
anything
good.
else you need to say?
No, I'm good. Go
Anything
Birds.
weighing on you?
Huh?
Anything weighing on you?
No,
No.
no,
Right.
I'm
Well,
good.
then I guess
And
we
I
done.
really think Jake Elliott is going to be fine.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about that, but at the end of the day, he's been a steady for years, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, and like I said, I think that field goal last week was more
The
just
wind.
it
That
was windy in there, man.
it could be windy on Sunday. It has.
Yeah, well, you know, you just have to deal with it, and I think they'll be able to deal with it.
All right. I love the positivity,
Yeah.
Dad.
All
Keep
right.
you.
I will see you Sunday.
I'll see you Sunday. Get some rest tonight. Love you.
Okay, love you too. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for
Go Birds.
listening. Like us, subscribe. Go Birds as always.